Revenge films.
I got married 5 years ago. His father passed away when he was in high school. I raised him all by myself. It wasn't easy, but I did it. This is his mother, Blair. She has always bragged about how she raised him single-handedly. But she was a housewife. She lived off of her late husband's inheritance. At first, I just complimented her to avoid trouble, but things started to change after about a year into the marriage. Allie, you guys have been married for a year now. Why aren't you pregnant yet? There's nothing wrong with Bob, so it has to be you. You have an abortion in the past or something? What? She started sharing her wild theories with us. At first, my husband didn't take it seriously.
Stop it, Mom!
But son, I hear slutty girls have a hard time getting pregnant. Maybe she was one of them. You never know. And soon, he was starting to get brainwashed by her.
You're terrible!
He turned against me. But a few months later, I got pregnant. This made Blair very happy too. But 6 months in, when I told her that the baby was a girl, she got upset. She started harassing me again. Ugh! Wait, you're not cheating on my son, are you? Then she started coming over early in the morning to harass me. She stayed at my house all day long, waited for my husband to come home, and made me cook dinner for her. Oh, I'm just so worried about Allie. I was helping her all day. Liar! You just sat there all day giving me a hard time.
You're so nice, Mom. But you live pretty far away. Hey, I know. Why don't you move in with us? Once we have the baby, we'll need your help even more, so...
What?
It's for the best.
It was a nightmare. After she moved in, my husband got worse.